So they reckon you've got to be a rich French ponce to be able to afford something good to drink. I reckon we can do one better. I think for 20 bucks, we can find something quite drinkable. So jump in the car with me, Seuss. We're going to hit some of the big stores, see what they've got in the bargain bins.
I like a bargain. Let's check it out.
Come along.
All right. We're pulling into our first stop. First choice liquor. Let's see what bargains they got for us.
Seuss, I think I left my wallet behind.
That'll be bloody
You're right
right.
to spot me, aren't you?
Yeah. Do I got a choice? And we're pulling in to our second stop, Dan Murphy's.
Dan the man.
That's the one. And you get even bigger and better bargains here if you happen to be a member. You get member discounts.
And there's nothing more cheery than the sight of a brown paper bag in the morning.
Dan Murphy's. This is probably the biggest bottle liquor outlet in Australia, I would say. Owned by Wesfarmers, I believe. Wall-to-wall booze. And it just keeps going. At the beer section. Really, death by tango. Shafted golden ale. You just have to love these labels. Amazing.
Welcome back in the Gunners Club with Seuss and myself, Gunner, and they say that one man's trash might very well be another man's treasure. I'm not sure how we stacked up with our $20 bargain bin challenge today, but you saw us. We tootled off and we hit two of the large liquor stores for Australia, the two big chains that everybody knows about.
Yep.
And just having a look at it, Dan Murphy is obviously the bigger of the two. And I noticed the prices were ever so slightly cheaper than what they were at first choice. I'll give you an example. A bottle of Johnny Walker Red was $2.05 cheaper.
Okay. I didn't take note of that. You obviously did. Yep.
Yeah, and there was a very small but negligible price difference in a Johnny Walker Black. Obviously, the stores are different sizes to each other. Dan Murphy's is just huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, even the physical store was twice the size of the other one.
But we had a few wins, so the idea was to see what we could get for $20 and something which was appropriate as well for the weather. Now, I think it came up pretty well because my wife is quite partial to a sweetish sort of wine, but nothing which is going absolutely stupid. Now, I picked up 2 litres of Colombard Chardonnay, so 2 different grapes. Colombard is the grape which grows in a region of France, which is traditionally used for cognac.
Okay.
It's basically the son or daughter of Chenin Blanc, and it's a fairly sweet grape. But the Chardonnay is a dry sort of wine in comparison. So what I'm hoping for here is an off-sweet wine, something that I can put in the fridge and we can enjoy when we have barbecued meats and things like that, or just for relaxing and watching a bit of telly. But $7...
2 litres for $7.
Yeah, of something which I believe will be drinkable because of the way that we've got 2 appropriate blending grapes together.
Okay.
So I thought about that before I just shelled out my hard-earned.
Oh,
Now, I've still got $13 to go.
You big spender.
All right. Spiced rum, $10 for 4 cans. Look, I think that's good value no matter how you look at it. It's a spiced rum. So rum, as we already know,
well,
it's basically...
It's $2.50 a can. You can't... I have not seen them, any cans of any description, at that price. That is a bargain.
Try to make that yourself for that price, because I don't think you could. Instead of this being blended with cola, which again is adding extra sweetness to rum, which is already a sugar drink, it's dry, instead dry ginger ale. Typical spices for this is a spiced rum. You'd be looking at things like your cardamoms and cloves and things like that. I think this will hit the spot like a treat. The other thing I got, because remember, I still have a big $3 left. I thought something for a picnic or something for the lunchbox. And when I used to live in Germany, near the checkouts for all of the department stores that have the schnapps, so that people could avail themselves there between lunch breaks. Not quite so bad, but here is a little 187ml Cabernet Sauvignon. It's from Western Victoria region, so Minchinbury, out sort of where my mother grew up. So it's a tribute to you, Mum.
Yeah.
That's $20. So 2 litres of white wine, plus this, plus my 4 spiced rum cans.
Hang on, you still got 5 cents in the bag.
Well, I might throw it in your hat if I feel that you deserve some consolation. How did you go, Seuss?
Well, I think you bested me today, but I also got 2 litres, and this too was $7.
So I think you paid more than that. I think you paid $10 for that.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Now, that's a Sauvignon Blanc. What region is that from? It's sort of hiding it and just saying southeastern
No idea.
Australia.
But Sauv Blanc, I'm quite partial to a bit of Sauv Blanc.
Yeah.
And 2 litres, even for $10, ain't bad.
Look, it's one of those grapes that you really don't need to introduce it to any wood at all. If you do, you're starting to open up and get all sorts of other more complex tastes, which I like, your Fumé Blancs, things like that. Otherwise, it can just basically hit steel, and it's still perfectly good, perfectly fresh. I know that you're a huge fan of the Sauv Blancs from New Zealand particularly.
And quite frankly, I just like the packaging.
Okay. So that's half of your investment there.
Yeah, so I'm yet to find out what it tastes like.
But again, appropriate for this weather, summer in Melbourne.
Well, in that case, I've overspent because this is $10.
Okay, well, that will hit you down to 20.
Yes.
Exactly. So already I'm concerned because the size of this is what we would call in some parts of Australia a goon bag.
Correct.
Or a silver handbag. So Australia, the country that gave this to you, I'm sorry, the rest of the world, these bags and the pull-out tap so you can serve yourself.
But if you're ever out on a camping trip and forgot your pillow, you just blow it. Yeah, there you go.
That's true. Now, having a look at the mock heraldry, I don't know what we're trying to say here. They're trying to say here that they fought in the Crusades to rescue back the cup. From having a look at the tattered cloak that they've got. The colours here, that's a heraldic colour for blue and that's a heraldic colour for red. So you can see that's horizontal like the sea, that's vertical like fire going up. There's only one coat of arms that's approved in England that actually has letters or words on it. So unless they've got special dispensation from England to be the second, this is bullshit heraldry that we've got here. A fresh dry white. Now, if I'm going to buy a cheap white, it'll always have a little bit of sweetness to it because you're not going to get the most refined wine for cheap. Okay, it's not going to have wood exposure, so that's why I always go for something a bit sweeter, as in the Colombard that I had with the Chardonnay. Here we've got a fresh dry white. Probably better your palate than mine for that. But you got an awful lot of wine for your money.
Yes. It's not always, size matters.
So in this case, don't mind the quality, feel the whip.
Correct. Exactly.
Thanks for coming along with us for the ride to the 2 shops to have a look. It was a lot of fun, actually. It's amazing what you can find in the bins, and it changes from moment to moment. Some of the things were masquerading as good prices, which I really didn't think were good prices at all. Some things were supposed to be a good price simply because they were from overseas and compared to what the price is normally here, like the German beers that I saw there.
Yep.
Still not, in my mind, a great price, but for the exotic product, they thought it was a great price. For Australia, let's face it, what we do best, we make our own rum, we make our own wine. The 2 things that I bought were our own rum and our own wine because those are our indigenous industries with the sugar industry here.
Well, raise a glass check this out. You've never had this before. Tell me what you think.
No. Now, is this one of your sex on the beach sort of or triple orgasm type cocktails, or what do we have?
This is another one of my bargain bin type concoctions.
Okay. So I remember peppermint crisp.
Yes.
Buying that at the milk bar with the lovely green foil wrapper.
Yeah.
This is a peppermint crisp.
Yeah. Because it's got the chocolate and it's got the mint.
It's got a bit of backbone as well. You've added something to that.
I did. I gave it a dash of vodka, but it's the flavour though. What do you think of that?
You know what? It's not in your face. It's actually just the right amount of mint, because you can go absolutely crazy with mint and have it all about that.
Yep.
And this is not what it is.
Well, this I picked up at the big one, Dan Murphy's, $17 a bottle for this choc mint cream, which is, you know, pretending to be a Bailey's, right, with different
Bailey's-esque.
flavours.
Bailey's-esque. Yeah.
Right.
And of course, it would have an Irish type of name.
course.
Wouldn't it? What are we talking? Tipperary or
That's
Father O'Leary or something? Yeah.
exactly like that. But for $17 a bottle, I thought, oh, look, what the hell? I'll give it a try. It is bloody brilliant, and how refreshing, especially
hat off to
with a good dose of ice. So now that has going to become a staple in my bar. While we were down there, I topped up with a couple more bottles, seeing as we're there,
Yeah.
to make sure I've always have some on hand.
Thanks again for joining us. Go back and have a look at our library, because we've got some great videos there, and we've got so many good ideas for this year as well.
And we're just going to keep churning them out, so long as you keep watching them.
We'll see you on the next one.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one, guys.